Shall we get started?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
All right. I see there are some faces and names here that haven't been with us, so I'm going to go from the very, very beginning as though this is day one. First, I always want to talk about dancer posture, and more so than just posture, like how you hold yourself, is the energy that you bring to that posture. So you'll hear in dance classes like everything's coming from the center. And the center, kind of like in athletics, you hear about your core. It's this point basically right between your belly button and your spine. And from there, all energy kind of explodes out. So from basically your waist down, you're very actively pushing into the ground. So your legs are, you're not just sitting on your legs, on your feet. You're actively pushing into the ground. You're very aware of the contact of your feet into the floor. And then from the waist up, you're lifting up. And that doesn't mean lifting from the chest, it means lifting from the top of the head. So very up, not here, but here, okay? So down, up, we're gonna talk about that intermittently through all the exercises. Everything will be done from a turnout, and I want that turnout to be controlled by your hips. The glute medians, I call them the butt nuggets, they're those hip muscles right up here. You wanna be able to lean back on your heels, using these muscles to just turn your toes out and place them down. And then we're using our hips and our inner thigh to help control that position. You don't want to just crank your feet out and then your knees end up rolling forward, your arches end up collapsing. That's no good for anybody. It's also going to be a lot harder to keep that energetic press into the floor and lift up out of your hips if you're cranking on that turnout. So none of us, I'm assuming, are professional dancers. We're not going to have 180-degree turnouts. Mine's only about 90 degrees. It's about 45 a piece because it's just been so long since I've done this or taught this. So it's degraded, if you will. We are going to start with plies, the quintessential ballet exercise. We're going to go from what we call first position, which is just heels together, toes out. We're going to do it in first. Then we'll do it in second, which is just feet apart. We'll go back to first, out in second again. So the routine is going to be, I don't care what you do with your arm. If you find yourself going into crazy claw arms because you're thinking, just put it on your hip. Otherwise, you can have your arm out. Think of it as a beach ball filled with helium, lifting your arm up from underneath. And that's kind of the feeling you want on that. We're going to do 2 small plies or demi plies, counts 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 big plie or grand plie. We want to go through a heels down position, so I'm pressing into the floor. 5, then I let the heels peel off. 6, oh, I'm losing my balance. Then presses, heels down. 7, up. 8. Okay, so the heels do come off, but you're trying to resist that. Then we're going to lift up and then fold over. 1, 2, stretch out and up. 3, 4, lift up and back. 5, 6, come up. 7. Then we step out both feet and 8 to our second position. From here again, 1, small 2, small 3, 4. In this position for the big one, we keep our heels on the ground. Big, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to stretch over the chair and then away. 1, 2, up 3, 4, away 5, 6, up 7. Bring in your feet and 8. Okay? Something to think about if you're a weightlifter like I am. Very different from a squat. With a squat, our knees go forward, our hips go back. For a plie, however, we want to be like we're up against a wall and we're going straight down. Okay? So it's all knee motion with some hip action. We don't want to let that booty sink out behind us. So we're going to be doing that routine twice through. 2 small, 1 big, stretch forward, back, open. 2 small, 1 big, over, over, close. Again, 2 small, 1 big, forward, back, open. 2 small, 1 big, over, over, close. Questions on that? Give me a thumbs up if you're good. Good? All right, cool.
Newman, how fast does it move?
Excuse me? Did someone ask a question?
She asked, how fast does it move?
Oh, we're going to be going nice and slow.
Oh, thank God. Thank you.
I'm gonna put on, let's see, where, let's see. Hold on. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, back 5, 6, 7, open 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, close 8. 1, 3, 5, 7, over. 1, 3, 5, 7, 1, 3, 5, 7, 1, 3, 5, 7, close 8. All right, was that a good okay pace for everybody? Let's go to the other side. It'll be the same routine, same pace. I need to
That was
talk.
kind of fast.
It was a little
That
fast.
was like crazy fast. if you do want the input.
Or if you can just talk it out a little bit more for us people that are new.
Excuse me?
If you could talk it out a little bit more so I know what I'm doing next.
Oh, okay, okay.
I think it's more like it's just hard like to do it safely and right that fast. Like I've studied ballet for a long time and that feels like a very advanced level kind of like
I'm
to
gonna
be
pick a
able to
different
do
song.
it.
Let's do that same side again, and I'm gonna pick a slower song for this.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, the same side again?
We're gonna do the same side again, a little slower. It should feel better. One, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Small. 1, 2, 3. Big. Stretch over. Back. And small. Small. Big. Over.
Now you're gone.
Small. Big. Stretch. Open. Stretch over. And close.
So much better.
that felt a lot better.
Much better.
All right, cool. We'll stick with that. Ready to go to the other side at that pace. Ooh, we got some chats. Okay, cool. I'm gonna stop that stomp over so we don't get stuck in the middle. One more, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Small, 1. Small, big. Over. And back. Open. Big. Over.
Now you're gone.
And close. Long.
Baby, what we had was good. How come you don't call me?
Stretch forward. And back. And open.
Still I can find already.
Over.
Still, you better when your heart to heart.
And done.
Everybody sit. Everybody sit.
All right, feel good? All right. Next thing we're gonna do, tendus, which is just a pointing of the foot. We're gonna go, now we've got something, we're gonna use our working leg and our standing leg. What we want to think about on our working leg for this is, I had talked earlier about the energy starting in the center and exploding out from there. So we don't wanna just lift our leg up to point our toe on the ground. We want to think about the energy coming from just above our hip, through the leg, pushing into the floor, and extending the foot, and then the toes to create that movement. So it's not just a lift, it is a very energetic push and extend, trying to lengthen that leg the entire time to create that point on the floor. And then as we pull it back in, we're going to go through that same partial point, and then flat foot. We refer to that as foot articulation. Through, and then back in. So the energy comes out, and then we're using our inner thighs to bring it all back together underneath. When we're having one working leg and one standing leg, it's really common. You're thinking so hard about what this leg is doing that people have a tendency to just sit in the hip of their standing leg. That standing leg should still be very active. We should still be energetically lifting out of the hip and pressing that leg into the ground, being aware of our foot and our balance, being over the whole foot, not just back on the heel, not just way out over the toes, but that whole foot energetically pushed into the ground. That's going to protect your knee, because that knee is supposed to be straight, it's supposed to be locked out, but by having an active leg, your calf and your quad will be protecting your knee from hyperextending and just like sitting down in that leg. So always actively push into the ground, actively lift out of that hip. That's going to help you stay stable as that leg moves around. So the routine for this, pressing into the ground, articulating the foot. We're going to push out 1. We're going to roll through the foot to come down on both feet 2. I am splitting my weight here. Using the strength of my foot, I'm going to push myself back 3, close 4, nice and slow, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same thing's going to happen to the side. We're going to roll out 1, roll down 2, push back 3, close 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same thing to the back, point, shift, push, in, 5, 6, 7, 8. When you go to the back, be aware of how that foot goes to the back. We want it to go straight back as much as possible. I still have issues of letting that foot kind of shoot out to the side. So really use your butt to control that going to the back, using the lift out of the hip to bring everything back in alignment underneath. So the back has a lot to think about whenever your leg goes back behind you. Then we go to the side again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're gonna do that 2 times through, all right? Previously we had a plie in there. Today we're just gonna take it out. We're just doing the weight shifts. So it's just point, shift, point, back, 5, 6, 7, 8. Front, side, back, side. Again through front, side, back, side before we go on to the other side. Okay, good? All right. Let's pick. That shifting is probably the hardest part, to like let your foot roll down, bring your weight forward, bring your weight back as you press back. How did that feel? Feel okay to everyone? Okay.
I always feel like going back is hardest because it's kind of, you know, when you're shifting your weight back, like back, if I put my foot back too far, I kind of have to bend my front knee.
Tell me more about that.
Like if I'm here and I'm trying to go back, I guess if I'm like this and I'm trying to go back, then I kind of want to bend my knee.
Right, okay, so going back, let's talk about that a little bit. Because you want to actually shift your weight, and I do find for myself back is hardest, I am having to move my weight back between my feet. So like basically my crotch should be right between my feet here, and then pushing my weight back forward when I extend that foot again. If you keep that leg locked, you're gonna end up having to shift and shift. So you're probably gonna have to move more than you want to, which is one of the things that makes it kind of tough.
Yeah, because like if I keep my leg straight, it's like, I guess like my foot wants to lift up. But maybe I'm going back to.
If your foot wants to lift up, that's probably because your weight is in your heel as opposed to in the full foot. So the idea is you want your balance pressed into the ground, kind of.
There you go.
Arch. And if you're way back here, you're more likely to kind of rock. So you want to be actively pushing those toes into the ground as you do the movement.
Oh, that feels different. Yeah. Okay. Like it's.
Yeah, so having to move around, it's kind of awkward, but it makes you really concentrate, like, where is the weight in my foot? How am I interacting with the floor? How are my toes interacting with the floor? How is my body interacting with my feet? It really connects you, I think, to everything going on in our extremities. With that in mind, now that we've had this discussion, how would you guys feel about doing the right side again before we go on to the left? Yeah? Good? Cool, let's do that. That felt a little better. Think about where your weight was in your foot, how your toes are interacting, and how that foot floor interaction helps you move and control your own body. Did y'all feel that a little better?
I just have a question. Can you hear me? So it's front, side, back, side, front?
Yeah, so front, side, back, side is one time through. And then again, front, side, back, side is the second time through.
Thank you.
Okay. So same thing on the other side. Everyone's favorite side? Not really.
This is Kristen Newman. She's a weightlifting I trained in years ago. So,
something that I noticed for myself, because I did dance for a long time, and it's been an even longer time since I've done it. I have a tendency on my bar hand to like start gripping and letting my shoulder lift up. So maybe we all need to, I'm sure if I'm doing, a lot of us are doing a thing about relaxing that arm, and it really should just be our fingers on it as a mental cue that we're not gonna fall and kill ourselves. It should just be fingers on, just touching it to help us with our balance. How did that go on the left or second side, whatever that might be? Thumbs up, beautiful. Okay. Degage, which is like disengage. That is, we're gonna take that same idea, pressing into the floor of the tendu we just did, but now we're gonna put even more energy into it. That final toe flick is gonna lift our leg up off the ground. We're using our inner thigh to help control that, but to help with the turnout, and then the energy of the foot is lifting the foot up off the ground, okay? The routine, very simple. We're gonna do slow, 1, 2, 3, 4, fast, 5, 6, 7, 8, with that emphasis being you're closing your legs on the count. 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're gonna do some brushes. 1, brush back, 2, brush forward, 3, close, 4, grand plie, throwing the plie in there because my quads tend to get really tight, thinking about that long, long leg, and it helps just kind of like, whoo, stretch that knee back out again. To the side, it's gonna look very similar except for the brush. We're gonna kick 1, 2, not a kick, it's a brush. 3, 4, closing 5, 6, 7, 8. We do this little wiggle kick where we day in, day out. 1, cross, cross, open. So it's an internal rotation with the knee, external, flick it back out again, and then close. 1, 2, 3, close 4, and then again, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same basic thing to the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, fast 5, 6, 7, 8. Brush 1, 2, 3, close 4, plie 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is a slightly longer routine than we've done previously. Front, side, back, side. Again, the side has that wiggle kick. 2 slow, 4 quick. It's not gonna be that fast. Wiggle kick, and then grand plie.
Are we still doing the same side? Like are we still using the right leg only?
So far, yes.
Okay.
Well, we just did the left side on the tendus. Did you switch over that time?
No.
Okay, we will do right. I'm gonna check in with everybody, see if we need to do it again, maybe do it again, and then we'll switch to the left.
Okay.
So we will do the other side. Any other questions? Cool. One, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slow. 1, 2, 3. Fast. 5, 6, 7, 8. Brush. 1, 2, 3. Plie. 5, 7. Side. 1, 3. Fast. 5, 6, 7, 8. Wiggle. Plie. Back, slow. 1, 3, fast. 5, 6, 7. Brush. 1, 2, 3. Plie. Side. Wiggle. Plie. All right, how'd that go for everybody? Get a thumbs up.
Fast.
Say what?
It felt a little fast still.
Fast.
Fast. This one definitely is faster. Do we want to do it again?
For me, it's so fast that I can't even do the grand plie. Like my knees, I can't get alignment well enough with that short of time. So I'll
Okay.
just, I guess.
Let's do that side again, and let me pick something even slower.
Okay.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, quick 5, 6, 7, 8. Wiggle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Back. 1. Last time to the
like that pace.
That's a good tempo.
Okay.
Yeah, that was good.
Maybe we'll just use that song for every single exercise going forward.
I love Lizzo.
I know. Well, I'll go between that and Crybaby. Those are nice slow songs.
What is the beat on that song? I'm just curious.
Like the
Beats per
time?
minute.
I have no idea. I should probably go find that out.
No worries. I'm just curious.
I can filter Spotify for that if that's
I think
possible.
it's a 4/4 beat, but I'm not very good.
Well, we were wondering like beats per minute.
Oh, per minute. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys could feel yourself articulating through so that as you did that, you feel the push happening with the foot, and you're not just lifting with the hip flexors.
Yes, it's much better slow.
Okay, cool. Let's do the left side. So switch our chair over.
Oh, here we go again.
1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fresh. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 to the side. 1, 3, and quick. 5, 6, 7, 8. Wiggle. 5, 7, and back.
Oh, little baby, who told you that you stood a chance with this royalty? You're so sweet, bless your heart. Can't let a pretty face distract me from business. And God as my witness, your ugly ass diva. I'm sorry. 2 a.m. photos with smileys and hearts ain't the way to my juicy parts. Boy, thank me later. Looks good on paper, but love isn't easy, so I'll do the hardest part to roll.
How'd that go on the left side? Everyone did the left side this time, right?
Perfect
Yeah.
speed.
All right, cool. All right. Rond de jambes, which is basically taking your leg in a circle, forwards, backwards. We're going to do it on the ground, and we're going to do it lifted up just a little bit. Something that you might have felt on the dégages, as that leg goes back and lifts up, most of us have to let our hips tilt a little bit to get our leg to go back. It's really important to think about lifting out of that standing leg as that leg comes back together to get everything back in alignment. Because what we don't want is to do a lift and then leave the hips back here. That's not very much lifted. It's not easy from here to press into the ground or lift up out of our hips. So you're gonna have to think about this with the rond de jambes, because you're going to be a little tricky. As that leg comes around, you're gonna feel yourself have to slowly get your hips into that tilted position while still lifting up out of the standing leg, and then keep lifting as it comes back underneath. One of the harder places for a lot of people is when they go around the other direction, they have to let the hips go, and then as the leg comes around, lift up and trying to get that hip underneath as the leg comes around as soon as possible. It's a combination of, again, you're gonna hear these a lot, using the hips to control the turnout, the inner thigh to control the movement, and the active lifting out of the standing leg to work to always fighting. Even when your hips are tilted, it's always fighting to get them back into alignment as soon as possible. Your hips are not gonna be happy here. They wanna be underneath you. So, the routine for this is going to be 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Brush through 5, 6, 7, 8. 3 faster ones, which just means 2 counts. 1, around 2, 3, around 4, 5, around 6, close 7, hold 8. We're going to go then to back. 1, slow, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Faster, 1, just 3 of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, close 7, hold 8. Then we're going to do it again, slightly lifted off the ground. So I don't want to challenge you to necessarily go any higher than we did for the dégages. We're just going to brush up 1, keep it lifted as we come around. 2, 3, 4, brush 5, 6, 7, 8. Faster, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, close 7, hold 8, back. Same idea. 1, fighting, 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 get those hips underneath you. 4, brush 5, fight, 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 fight. 7, 8, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, close 7, hold 8. I find personally, when the leg's up in the air, like even when your foot's on the ground, you're not supposed to have weight on it, but just having the foot down helps with the balance. As soon as I pick that leg up, that's when I feel my shoulder raise, my hands start to grip that chair. So think really, really hard. I know that leg, the working leg's working really hard, but pull up, pull up, pull up on that standing leg. It's going to help you so much in the balance of swinging that leg around in the air. After we've done forwards, backwards, air, backwards, don't worry about the counts. We're going to do this slow, liquid stretch where you reach out, fold forward, reach over your chair, lifting your chest to the back, and then you wind up, come across, and then back out, lifting up and back, over, and then fold forward and lift up out of it. So we're just taking your spine in this really big, and we want to focus on starting it with a big lift and reach. Like we're trying to create the biggest circle we can with our sternum and chest as we do the circle. Don't worry about the counts there. Go nice and slow. Let it feel good, okay? Questions on that? 2 slow, 3 faster, forwards, backwards, air. Yeah? Thumbs up if we're good. Cool.
Over, babe.
Go back to Jerome. We should do this song for everything.
Here we go again.
Start again.
Woo! Oh, here we go again.
5, 6, 7, 8. Slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. 8. Fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, close 7. Now in the air. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring your butt under. 5, 6, 7, 8. Brush. Round. Brush. Round. Brush. Round. All right, how did that go? All right, I know for this one for me, it's so important, I'm harping on this, to check in with my standing leg. If
Yeah.
I'm not checked in with my standing leg and really think about my active foot pressing into the ground, my arch is engaged, I can feel it coming up off the floor as my toes press into it, I'm lifting up out of the hip. The more I think about that, the easier it is for me to make these, especially from the back to the front, because for me that's the hardest, keeping it all pulled in and not letting my chest have to counterbalance that leg as it sweeps around. And it's really tempting for me to let my chest counterbalance like it's a dinosaur tail or something, so I've got kind of big legs. That's a lot of weight I've got to move around. So pulling myself up out of it helps immensely. It's a standing leg, but it's still very much active, very much working. Other side. By the way, thank you guys all so much for like the speed feedback. After this, what I'm gonna go do is I'm gonna go figure out what the beats per minute is of this Jerome song. And I'm just gonna find all the songs I can at that pace. And that's what the future classes will be at, okay? So thank you so much for that feedback. It will only help me, because like I've said before, it's been probably 20 years since I taught a ballet class.
You're doing great then.
All right. Other side.
Woo! Oh, here we go again.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1. Rush 5.
Listen, shut up.
Fast 1, 3, 5, 1, 7, hold 8, fast 1. Rush 5. Fast 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the air. 1.
Where the peaches have
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, hold 8, fast 1.
Can't let a pretty face distract me from business and
5,
as my witness, your ugly ass won't either.
1,
I'm sorry.
2, 3,
2 photos with smileys and
6,
say
7,
to my
8.
juicy
Big
later.
stretch.
Looks good on paper, but love isn't easy, so I'll do the hardest part. Jerome, go on, take your ass home.
Every now and then I have brain farts. I did forwards and backwards in the air, right?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, how'd that feel?
Good.
All right, awesome. Are you able to think about bringing those hips underneath?
Yes.
All right, cool. Just a quick question. I know for me, thinking about that active leg, pulling up out of the hip, brings that hip underneath really effectively for me, if I can think about that plus the million other things. Are there any cues you guys are using for yourself that helps you get your hips underneath better?
That standing leg helps.
What was that?
Squeezing your glute on that standing leg helps me to kind of get that top up.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So really squeezing.
Yep, squeeze the butt.
Beautiful, I love that. I love that. Anything else? Anybody else have little tidbits that works for them? I like these things.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do one more thing, Battements, which are the big kicks. We're going to go front side, back side, just like before. We're gonna do it a second time through, front side, back side, with a little bit of panache. Pretty simple the first time through. So it's a lot like the Degage, where you flick your foot off the ground, but now, after your foot flicks off, it should start by pushing that energy into the ground. We'll let the quad and hip flexor finish it off. So it's gonna bring it up as high as you can. As always, we're trying to pull out of that standing leg so they're not doing any like this kind of stuff, this kind of stuff, this kind of stuff as we kick around. Really pulled up, nice posture. We're just gonna do 4 to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 to the side, 4 to the back, 4 to the side. And it's gonna get a little funky. We're gonna do 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're gonna do what's called a développé, which is basically you're developing the kick through what's called a passé, where you're pointing at your knee. So what that looks like from the front is I'm gonna go through the knee, kick 5. Then we're gonna do an enveloppé, which is enveloping that kick, coming back through 7, 8. So it gets a little crazy coming through the passé, out, through the passé, back in. You've got to think really hard, especially on you coming in part, to pull that knee out to the side.
You
That's
show that sideways?
What was
You
that?
show that sideways?
Show it
Can you show
sideways.
that from the side view? Thank you.
Come through, out, and then up, in. Okay? We're going to do that in all 4 directions. So 2 kicks, kick. I find the side easiest because your knee doesn't have to go anywhere. It just basically stays in place and the rest of your foot finishes on the développé and the enveloppé. The back is where it gets interesting because already we have to bring the hips underneath every time. I mean, I'm exaggerating. We don't actually want to do that. And then the knee has to come from here back behind us with this. And as you come here, as the knee comes out, bring those hips back underneath. So there's a lot happening on the flickies going to the back.
Yeah, that was hard.
A lot of stuff going on here. So first time through, 4, 4 to the back, 4 to the side, 4. Second time through, 2 kicks, 2 funky flickies. And then same thing to the side, 2 kicks, flick, and then on envelop, same thing to the back, 2 kicks, through the passé out, through the passé in, to the side, 2 kicks, through the passé out, through the passé back in. All right, y'all ready for this? Yeah. Excellent. Same exact song. Woo! 3,
Oh, here we go again.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, side. 1, 3, 5, 7 to the back. Fight for that butt. 3, 5, 7, side. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, front. 1. Flickies. Side.
Oh, little baby, who told you that you stood a chance with this royalty? You're so sweet, that's your heart. Can't let a pretty face distract me from business. And God as my witness, your ugly ass wife. I'm sorry.
3.
Waiting photos with smileys and hearts ain't the way to my juicy parts. Boy, thank me later. Looks good.
All right, any feedback on that?
That's hard.
Very hard.
So I know for me, when I go to the left side, because I'm kind of a goober on my left side, my hip flexor will be on fire because I don't do it right. If I think about actively pushing my foot into the ground to begin each one, actively flicking with my foot, gives my hip flexor a break. It only has to finish the kick, and it doesn't hurt at the end of the routine. If I don't do that, which is pretty often, unfortunately, the hip flexor is on fire when I'm done. So If you guys are feeling something all up here be on fire, it's probably because you're not actively pushing through the ground as much as you could. Okay? Let's do the other side.
Woo! Oh, here we go again.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 3, 5,
Listen.
7, 5. 1, 3, 5, 7, back. 1.
And come back when you're grown.
Side.
Jerome. Go on.
Flickies.
Yes, home.
Do the passe.
Oh, little baby, who told you that you stood a chance with this royalty? You're so sweet, that's your heart. Can't let a pretty face distract me from business, and God has no business. Your ugly ass won't either.
1,
I'm sorry.
2, 3.
Away in photos with smileys and hearts ain't the way to my juicy parts. Boy, thank me later. Looks good on paper.
Woo-wee. All right. And that concludes today's class with the kickies. How's everybody feel?
That was
Good.
great. I like the slower better.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful.
Gives me a chance to think.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go through and revamp my playlist to find some things about the same pace. Sometimes it's hard. I'm just sitting there with my phone being like, oh, this feels okay. And then we do it. I'm like, oh, fuck.
That was really fun. I'm not sure of other people's skill level, but I'm like aware of the envelope and develope, but I hadn't really practiced those by themselves slowly.
I'm willing to bet, with the exception of maybe Carrie, nobody here has really practiced them.
So if that's the, yeah, so if you're just looking for feedback, I had a really good time and I'm super happy about it. I would have liked to have just practiced that movement slowly by itself for a little bit before adding it to the routine.
What I can do in the future, thank you for that, I can also add an extra exercise in there. It's called fondus. It's like a nice stretchy thing. And we can practice extending the leg, bring it into passe, extending the leg. Like we can practice that between the rond de jambes and the flickies.
Yeah,
yeah,
that said, there's just like a lot of really fun movement here and only so much time to get to it. So thank you.
Yeah, well, you're welcome. You're welcome.
It was awesome, and thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That was fun.
Also, I'm doing these classes for free. If anyone is so moved, I have been donating my time to the Athletic Playground fundraiser for their coaches. So if you are so moved, I ask that you take whatever classes people usually charge and head over to Athletic Playground to donate to, or to any of the circus coaches. A lot of them, their only income, and it's like them alone, is teaching and performing, and of course that's been wiped out. I am very lucky to be in a good situation with a partner who still has his job, and I don't have to worry about losing my place or anything, and some of them have to worry about that kind of stuff. So I think you can find that through just doing a Google search for Athletic Playground. If you're part of the circus group, the Strength in Numbers, there are some links in the calendar to that place as well.